Who do I have?
Recording in progress.
There you go. She's good. Good, nice to hear you.
Hi.
You as well.
All right, I've got an amazing guest. Woo, Rachel, see
Woo-hoo.
today.
Hello, hello.
It has been too long in the making. All right, say hi to Jordan, my producer.
Hi, Jordan. How are you?
Doing well. How are you doing today, Tiffany?
Good, good.
All right, so I'm going to do a bit of a little intro. We are live on the radio and on YouTube, which is how I found you initially, so many years ago, and I cannot wait for this conversation.
Oh, me too, me too. I'm going to turn that up a little bit.
Go ahead and get some links for everybody real quick. I'll start with you, Forbes. Can I please get a countback from 5?
Sure, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And Forbes, are you able to get a little bit closer to your microphone there?
You know, is that good? I'm not quite sure what's going on with my little snowball here.
You're coming in clear. It's just a little low. Nothing.
Right, it doesn't quite make sense to me, so hang on a second. Let me see if I can. Audio settings. Here's my audio setting. Audio settings. Output volume is literally as high as it could go. On the snowball, input is not. I don't see any input level. Automatically adjust. How does that sound? Sound better?
Let me get a countback for you, please.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Sounds about the same. Are you able? Is the snowball selected as your microphone input there?
It is. It is blue snowball. I may have to talk to my in-house producer about this. That's pretty much as loud as it can go. And
It's coming in clear.
okay, that's important.
And then Tiffany, can I get a countback from 5 for you, please?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, Tiffany, are you using an external microphone or just the one on your device?
The one on my device.
Are you able to just get a little bit closer to your head? It just sounds a little roomy on my end.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, that sounds a little bit better. Just while you're speaking, just make sure you're speaking directly towards your computer there and just project it for me.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on. All
It's
right.
primarily on radio only.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That sounds good there. And then real quick, Forbes, what do you want to do for breaks today?
Let's go podcast time. Let's go all the way through.
All right, awesome, no problem.
All right, so I'm going to go live on YouTube. And Jordan, tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready to give you a countdown if you are.
I am.
All right, have a great show going in 5.
Wait, sorry. You know what? I need a spotlight. That's what now I'll do. That's what I needed. All right. I'm ready.
Going in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the Forbes Backyard, one of my favorite hours right here with you. And I'll tell you what, I've got a very, very special guest today. In fact, it's so interesting to me because we have never met formally, but we have known, I stalked her. I just want to say it out loud, all right? So you're going to get to meet her when I meet her today, and I'm just so very excited about that. And I'm just going to make sure that we are, there we go. You know, when it comes to health and fitness, oh my gosh, do I have a crazy trajectory for that. And before we get into and meet my guest, I'm going to share with you that my personal journey has been fantabulous. My mom was always 260 pounds my entire life. She didn't roller skate with me and my sister or bike ride, or she wore muumuus to the beach. It was kind of embarrassing. She was an only child from the Ukraine and a bit of a hoarder. And I think that's something about food. Food for her was love, so she fed us a lot, and not great food. I mean, I think with bologna and white bread sandwiches, Captain Crunch breakfast, and chicken fried cutlets for dinner with applesauce, and always chocolate pudding. Man, I'm surprised I wasn't 260 pounds, but I was chunky enough to be made fun of most of my life. And then I decided I wanted to be an actress and a dancer, which, if you're chunky, is like a recipe back then in the 80s for misery, rejection, and self-loathing. I have a major in that from college. And the more I would act, the more I would get made fun of. In fact, I did a soap opera, I think you guys know, called As the World Turns. And I'm standing next to Meg Ryan and Julianne Moore, who at the time were also on this soap opera. And I'm a normal, plus 15 pounds person at that point. They are normal, minus 22 pounds. I look cute. I look huge, and I got told that all the time, but oh my gosh. And so I tried every diet known to man. I'm a diet expert, but I'm also a loser, and not really a loser of pounds, but that none of them worked for me. And so I went on a lot of different journeys, you guys. I was obsessed with this concept. It led me to launch a TV series when cable came out called Fit TV. I did this with Body by Jake. And on that show, which is so interesting how your life can take paths like this, I ended up pitching health and wellness and fitness products for 5 years, 1,500 different products. Jake sold that network for $500 million in 1993. And you can see it on YouTube. But something I want you all to watch when you watch this on YouTube, go to Fit TV and Forbes Riley, you'll notice that I'm always wearing a zippered up jacket that covers my hips. I understood that I could never stand next to a girl who could show her abs and had a six-pack and a tiny little bra top, because I always had like a little jelly roll around my belly and little butts. And this is way before today when this is much more accepted. Back then it was made fun of. So I decided if I could zip it up and cover it up and talk, I could win. And I did. I ended up hosting infomercials with Jack LaLanne. We launched a power juicer to $1 billion. And I knew about health and nutrition because I'd struggled for so long. Then along the way, I created my little handheld fitness product. You guys know the Spin Gym. And it's so ironic to me as I'm looking at this point in my life that I had anything to do with the fitness industry. Well, when YouTube got very popular, I noticed there was this really attractive woman working out, not really in a studio, but like in the corner of this room. I didn't quite understand it. I just knew she had the most amazing energy and something like 13 million views. And so I hunted her and hunted her. Today, that was a couple of years ago. Today is the first day that Miss Tiffany Roth, the fitness queen on YouTube, and I get to meet in person. Please come on up here and welcome to my stage.
Yes. Oh my God, that's amazing. What an awesome intro. I didn't know that about you. God, we have very kind of similar backgrounds. My mom was not from the Ukraine, but I was an only child and I was chubby when I was younger and then got into fitness. So no wonder we are aligning and connecting energetically. We have a lot of similar stories in our past.
You know, and I love hearing that because I'm all about the people who overcome in spite of and the perseverance it takes to be successful. So let's bring you back. Where did you grow up?
So I'm from Los Angeles. I grew up in Los Angeles, and I'm about as LA as they get, Forbes. Like, so I went to Santa Monica High, UCLA, USC, with like all the things California style. And like you said, when I grew up, like the it thing was skinny, skinny, skinny. I am in.
What year are we talking about in LA?
Okay, so, well, I mean, you know, we're going way back, right? So when I first started teaching was like in the 80s, like 1986, 1987. And like, you couldn't be skinny enough. Like you had to be, I actually took classes with Jane Fonda, I remember, like back in the day. Yeah. And it was like, that was the thing. I am absolutely stunned and shocked by how much the image of fitness has changed over the years. And I am so grateful for it because I just know what we went through. Like it was insane, right?
I went into Macy's a little while ago and I turned the corner and you know how they have all like plastic hanging, they were redoing a section and they were chubby mannequin.
Yeah.
And I started crying.
Yeah.
Because we were taught to hate our bodies.
Yes.
It wasn't skinny, right?
Yes, it was insane. Like, I mean, super skinny. Like when I was at my skinniest of skinniest, I still thought I was big because it wasn't skinny enough. I was like 117 pounds thinking like, oh my God, like everyone's thinking I'm big. That's insane.
What did you go to school for? What do you want to be?
Well, it's very interesting. So when I first went to college, I wanted to kind of get away. So I just went to Occidental College, which was like 30 minutes from my house, but it felt very far away to me. And I just started studying liberal arts. I really tout the fact that Obama went to that school as well. But I went there and I just didn't really find a love for what I was studying. So then I went out and I decided, you know what, I'm an artist. And so I went to the Fashion Institute and I studied graphic design. And I remember graphic design was just moving towards the computers. And I was like, how are they gonna do art on a computer? This is crazy. Like, I couldn't conceptualize that. So I didn't finish that. And then I went into fitness. And I did, I managed a gym. I don't know if you know that, Bally's and Holiday Spa. And of course, right? That was back then. And I taught there, and I just really fell in love with it. I fell in love with teaching and training. And I did that for years. And then one day I had kind of worked my way up in the company to finally be the manager of 2 gyms, which was like the women's side and the men's side, because it used to be separate sides and I got this one gym in Chatsworth, and I was like, oh my God, I have arrived. I was making so much money. It took me a long time to get here. And they decided, I remember the woman came down, who was the CEO, and said, you know what? We decided that we're going to split this gym. And which means that I would no longer be I would be a female, and we're going to bring in a male. Now, I had worked really hard for that. Forbes, let me tell you, like, it hit me at that moment that I needed to be in control of my destiny. I can't have somebody just come in and just cut my salary in half like that by a decision. And so from that moment, I quit that day, and I went back to school. And the only thing I cared about was going back to school, was getting some kind of a job where I could be my own boss. So I went back to school, graduated from UCLA, and I decided, okay, I'll be a lawyer, because I can always be like my own boss. Yeah.
You are my sister from another mother.
Yes. So I'm like, I'll be a lawyer. So I went to law school, and this is the thing, I was doing fitness the whole time. But as you know, like when we were growing up, like it was not status quo to be like a trainer or a fitness instructor. It was like you had failed at life, right? So I had to go back and like find something that I was like reputable. So I went and I studied law. But the interesting thing is, I remember I did moot court, and I got recruited. And we went on these interviews, like when you go like floor to floor, you start off with the associates and you go all the way up like management, you get to partners, and you have to interview with everybody, and it takes all day. By the time I got to the top, I was interviewing everybody else about their quality of life, about their fitness, about like if they were feeling healthy at their job. And it was just, I realized like, oh my God, like this is who I am. And I remember just talking to the partners like, yeah, I just don't get enough workout in, I'm not getting enough rest. And it just flipped, right? And I came up with this idea back then called Firm Fitness. And I actually did that at law school. I worked with a professor to do my business program, business proposal, where I would go into the firms and have these workouts that you could do on the computer while at your desk, and stretches and things like that to kind of lower your stress levels and everything like that. Well, I mean, I proposed it to a lot of people, and they told me that will never work. We just don't have the bandwidth for that. You can't have videos coming in enough. It will be just too big and it won't work. And at the time, it didn't work. But when you have a vision, Forbes, when you have a vision, it manifests somehow, some way. I didn't think about this till years later, but fast forward at least, I don't know, let me see, about 8-9 years, I put my workouts on YouTube, and they were in the homes of millions of people around the world, and it did work. Right? So I chose my passion. I decided not to practice law. When I graduated, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to continue what I'm doing, because this is what's really changing lives. It keeps me in shape, keeps me sharp, and that's what I did, and I've been doing it ever since.
Well, it is somehow you managed to, as I did several times, catch a wave. You caught a wave. YouTube wasn't really doing that when you started. You were one of the first people I ever saw who was doing fitness. And were you surprised that, we're talking millions of people watched your videos. I know. It was surprising. It really was surprising. I just remember when I first put it off, put my first video on there. It was called the 10-minute booty shaking workout. Now, I've been teaching for a long time, and I sort of cultivated this routine that gives you amazing results and shrinks your waist, but you don't really feel it while you're doing it, right? And so I knew that workout had been successful for many, many years. And it's so interesting. When I put it on YouTube, I was like,
people are going to steal all my moves. I was remember thinking that. And then I thought, you know, if I put these out there, like who's going to come to my studio? They're just going to come to YouTube. And then I overcame myself. I'm like, you know, be generous. This was a conversation I had with myself. Be generous. Like everybody gets to have a 10-minute workout that can give them amazing results. So I put it on. I put it on there and I knew nothing about it. I just kind of shared it to the world. And it took about 8 months to get to 100,000 views because I remember I was watching it. But then after that, the trajectory just exploded. And then every video I put off was just catching fire. It was amazing.
Back then, was YouTube paying for videos or no?
You know, because very quickly I got with it was called a network. It was called Style Hall at the time, and they paid very well. Okay, so at the beginning, so I didn't get paid from YouTube, but I was part of I forgot what it's called right now, but it's like when they group all the channels together, they present it for advertising. It's a MCN, multi-channel network, multi-channel network, and they put it in, but they paid very well at the beginning, and like I thought it would last forever, but it lasted like a couple of years, and then I think YouTube started monetizing after that. But here's the thing, Forbes, because when I put those videos out there, I didn't know about the music. I didn't know about the music rights or anything like that, so I didn't make any money on those videos. Millions and millions and millions of views. So it was just an act of generosity. I love it. But yeah, because the music rights on the video, I didn't own the rights, and I didn't know that at the time. Like I said, I just wanted that workout to be out there. So luckily, like I did join that, and I was able to do it. And it launched my online fitness career. So that's beautiful.
It is absolutely beautiful. I love to have been witness to that. Because I never hit that level, even though I have which I don't know if I sent you one, but I have to send you my spin gym because it's still one of my favorite workouts at the desk.
Oh, love it.
Never hit that stats, even though I sold millions on home shopping. I have my little zone of genius. YouTube, the internet has not been it. So then and people who listen to our channel are mostly entrepreneurs, people who are building their careers, and like you said, I love people who don't follow the norm, create their own. So there was no real online even things to follow. Who is your mentor? Even whether you met them or not, but who is your guiding light, or did you just do it all on your own?
So, you know, here's the thing. I did it all on my own. I remember like not knowing I put the video up there. I had no mentor. As a matter of fact, when I joined them, they're like, you don't even have to make any more videos. So I didn't make any more videos which was a mistake. I didn't have the marketing experience. I didn't understand what I had at the time. And I think in retrospect, there was someone who we were kind of the same. We were in the same groups all the time. She was a YouTuber, and she had a plan. She understood the impact of touching people's lives. She understood marketing. She understood scaling, and she's taken off. She's like, her name is Cassie Ho with Blogilates, and she is.
I knew exactly where you were going. I Cassie many years ago.
And she's phenomenal. Like,
Target. That girl is doing it.
She is doing it, but she had a plan from the very beginning where I had no plan. And so that's the big difference. Like now, I think that there are some frameworks for success. There's definitely a way that you can radically find your way through YouTube, you know, but there are frameworks. You have to have a plan. So for example, like I got invited on Dr. Oz, who had a show at the time. And I was like, I had nothing to sell. You know, I couldn't capitalize or monetize on it at all, you know, and it was great, but it was a big lesson for me. I was like, whoa, like I'm on this show and I'm having millions of people watching me, and I really have nothing to offer them if they want to go to the next level. So like I wish I would have done the JD MBA. That's a regret. I only did the JD. I didn't do the JD MBA, and that MBA, man, would have really helped me. A Juris Doctorate MBA. So I got my Juris Doctorate in law, but you can go one more year and get your master's in business, and I didn't do that. Boy, that is the one regret of my life, because if I would have understood business and marketing, I think that I really could have taken it even to a higher level.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you think that you've kind of gotten the School of Hard Knocks MBA?
Oh my God, yes. Are you kidding me? Like I'm a pro. I'm a pro at the School of Hard Knocks. And also I will try things. I get out there and I'm really not well, I'm not going to say I'm not afraid to fail, but I push forward with new ideas all the time. And some of them work and some of them don't. And I don't let myself get stuck in the fact if it doesn't work, I just come up with new ideas. One thing I always told myself though, and this is what I said when I put that video out there, I was like, you know what, Tiffany, like you are creative at the core. You are creative. No one can steal creative because I'm moving on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And that's what kind of freed me up to put that workout on there because I was like so nervous about it at the time. I'm so glad I did. But like creativity can never be duplicated. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's such a great phrase. I got a new book coming out. I'm just putting the finishing touches on it. No one can do what we do. Whatever
Yes.
it is, whatever you do. I love it. Creativity can never be duplicated.
Yes.
Because so many people are small for fear their idea is going to get, I
Yeah.
take a lot of vendors onto home shopping and infomercials, and they're like, oh, I don't want to go too big. I don't want people to steal it. Like, you know what? Protect it as best you can. Be first to market and just go.
Yes, yes. You know, there's a huge advantage to being first to market. First mover advantage is huge because you get out there and it's just what do you do with it afterwards? Like people are going to be influenced. That's how it is in life, right? And then even if you do have a patent, you have to go and fight for it and hire an attorney. Who wants to do all that, right? So just be creative and keep it moving, keep growing, keep influencing and inspiring others, and you cannot lose.
Have you stayed in touch with Cassie?
I haven't talked to her in a while, but I could reach out to her at any time. She's really lovely. She's just a lovely person.
We need to do a little group call because I have not seen her in years, and I've just recently been following her like rebirth. Like it's amazing. We're talking 10 million views on a Hello. She's got a very fun style about her.
Yes.
And definitely one of our heroes in that market. Did you ever bump into Jack LaLanne and his wife at all?
No, I have not. Mm-mm.
You know, it's funny, as I'm sitting here thinking, Jack passed away about 10 years ago. I did 4 juicer shows with him. We grossed over $1 billion.
Wow.
I am the market when it comes to that side of products. And his wife is 98, turning 99.
Wow.
And she just podcast. I think she would be delighted to meet you.
Oh, that would be amazing. Like they were trailblazers, absolute trailblazers in the industry.
Jack invented the instant breakfast before Carnation took that from him.
Oh, wow.
The machine, never patented that. So he lost so much because he was, like you said, he was an artist. He was a fitness guru at his soul. He just wanted to educate and enlighten people. And it was many years later that he learned how to monetize it.
Yeah. And speaking of that, now that you mention it, I remember my mom watching Jack LaLanne until he had a show. It was like a really big show, and all the moms being at home doing it. And I don't know, did he have the Slim Jim? Was that him that had the Slim Jim?
No, he had some sort of like thing that you could squeeze, and I think
Right.
it accelerated. He was always on TV with his dogs, always in a jumpsuit.
Uh-huh.
All of our and grandmoms loved him because he could make guys at home fun. Now, I'm surprised. Did you ever end up on a home shopping network at all?
No, I didn't. And it was something because I didn't really have something that I wanted to home shop network, right? And so.
You know what? Okay, for years, I didn't have my own product. I was the affiliate queen. People would say, and somehow not the expert, although I ended up in the National Fitness Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Because I've so much. I know, crazy, right? But I would go, for years, I had 2 products that lived for a lot long. One was the Orbitrek, the first elliptical glider with your hands going like this. And the second was the Urban Rebounder, where you bounce up and down.
Oh, I remember.
Millions and millions of those, and bounce my way to success on TV.
Wow, that's amazing. I always say, people say, oh, I'm not a salesperson. Sales is like the best skill that you can ever develop. You can always do well because sales is just enrollment. Everything in life is buying and selling. Everything is buying and selling. And if you're able to basically enroll people in an idea, a concept, or a way that make their life better, that is the best skill that you can ever develop. So no wonder you've been so successful.
I'm writing the book called Pitch Secrets A to Z because I need to get that out to the world. So I'll call you. Do you have a book?
Yes, I'm working on a book. I'm working on a book right now. Yes, it's called Courage to Thrive. And it's a leadership book. And it's sort of like it has stories, like autobiographical stories woven into it, and showing how that I used each section in my life to develop who I am today. And it really just discusses the principles of leadership, the way that you can really lead your life. Like leaders are generous, life is now, life is an enrollment game, you're responsible for your life, leaders are authentic. Like these are just principles, ways that I live my life, and has helped me so much. That's what I teach in my course called the Mindset Makeover. And let me tell you something, it changes lives, because when you have the power to shift your own mindset in any circumstance, stay vision driven, stay in possibility, then you can achieve anything in life. Most people get stuck in fear or duplication, or I don't want to sell, or somebody else is already doing it, or I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too young, I'm too this. People get stuck there. But people like you and I were able to circumvent that. Whatever kind of stories we had in our head, that's leadership. You get to be the CEO of you and get out there no matter what people are saying or thinking or doing. And that is the true inspiration of life. That is the true inspiration of life, to be a trailblazer. Mm-hmm.
You always have this in you, you think?
You talked about your mom. If I talk about my mom, when my mom had a stroke when I was 10 years old, and she was partially paralyzed. And so very early on, I realized the value of mobility, and how it can be taken from you like that. Like she was walking to not walking, moving. And I remember she had these little exercises that she would have me like sit on her hand, because the hand would be kind of balled up, and I'd have to sit on her hand to keep it kind of flat, so she kind of did these push-ups. And I remember being so resistant to it, because I just wanted my mom back. And I think that early imprint of how important it is to take care of your body, to take care of your health, to not take it for granted, was the seed that got planted to who I am today. Because I fiercely believe in taking care of yourself, personal development, personal care, 100%. Because if not, all the things that you're prioritizing over you, they don't matter, right? No health, that doesn't matter. Your mind is all screwed, that doesn't matter. Heart is broken, that doesn't matter. You gotta keep yourself integral in mind, body, and spirit, so that you can ride this thing called life. Right? So you can ride this thing called life, because life is gonna, I always say, life be lifing, right? But like, who are you? You are your ride or die from the beginning to the end. And those early experiences really shaped me. And so, yeah, in the sense, I do believe I've been destined to do what I do.
There was a moment I bought my mom, who was always very large, I brought her a membership to Bally's in Long Beach, Long Island. And a year membership I could afford. I was so excited. She goes to the door. And she won't go in. And I'm like, Mom, let's go. And she's like, I can't. I'm like, yes, you can. I bought you a membership. And she's like, no, I can't. And she broke down crying. And it was one of those defining moments where she left. And she said, they're going to make fun of me. I don't know what to do. The exercise, I just don't want to be, I hate it. And she went home. And that was one of the defining moments for me, one, to create handheld at-home workouts.
Yeah.
Because my mom, I assumed a lot of other people were not going to go there, because there were big bulky machines and people who seem to know more, and everyone's wearing skimpy outfits. It's not a place for a beginner, at least that's what she thought. Mm-hmm. And that's how I devoted my life to that side of it.
Wow.
What did your dad do, by the way?
Pardon?
What did your dad do?
My parents were together. He was in construction here and there, just construction. But you brought me to a point, because like so many years, and this is what actually, God, we have so many similarities with our moms, because like after she had the stroke, I brought her to the gym, and I was living in Mexico, and I came here and I stayed for a month, and I worked on her like every day. And she just, she would do it if I was there, but she was not able to keep up the exercise if I left. And one thing that I realized, after she passed, I started doing the mindset work, like the neuro-linguistic programming, the personal development, the leadership. And what I realized, and this is so important, Forbes, is that I was always training her body. And I never spoke to her mind. I never spoke to her spirit. Like, we never got a chance to go in and say, like, what did she make up about herself when she had that stroke? How did she heal those wounds? How did she feel when she was once this beautiful woman coming into a place feeling broken, feeling paralyzed? Yeah. Yeah. And so speaking to that person, like that's what my book is about. Like when I learned that, when I learned so many years, it's about the body, the body, the body. But people have wounds. And this is why I'm going to put a plug right now. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is so important because people want to see that people like them can succeed. So today's society, when you go in and you see, bigger mannequins and other people in the gym teaching and all different, like it gives other people hope that they can do it too. Because like if you are always on the outside thinking like, oh my God, like I'm never going to be like them. And there's nobody there helping you get through those childhood wounds that we all have. Then you get stuck and you get stagnant and you leave when you walk up to the gym. You leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I got a really weird controversial question for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very similar energies because I also did the whole mental route and I had to because of so physical first and then mental and healing and understanding NLP and all the things that go into how you think and how your mindset is. Do you remember the cover of Sports Illustrated a couple of years ago? And the model on the cover was about 70 pounds overweight in a very skimpy bathing suit.
What was her name?
I
remember her.
I remember the visual.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an odd reaction.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what your reaction was to that, or might have been to that.
God, I remember she was beautiful. And I remember that, first of all, I applauded Sports Illustrated for celebrating another beauty type. And that's because I think for me as a Black woman to be celebrated publicly by a sort of like institutionalized like Sports Illustrated, it kind of means something. It means something like, okay, I actually see you. So I was so happy that she got to be seen and not have to look like everybody else. She got to be celebrated in her uniqueness, right? Now, what I do believe that you're speaking to is the psychological self-degradation that was programmed to us, that it's like, oh my God, like what am I going to aspire to if that's no longer the model? Where am I? Am I lost? If I'm like, if I'm real skinny right now, am I not like a good one now anymore? Does all that hard work go down the drain? Like really, like, because before it's so interesting, like everything around your success was tied to your size. It was insane. And this is why I love social media, because people got to go out there and say, hey, I'm beautiful too. And I look like this. Hey, I can wear these clothes too. And I look like that. And people got to voice their own beauty standards. And it took off. And so now we're not waiting for Sports Illustrated to say who is the prettiest, who's the best, who's the most fit. Like we have a whole like ecosystem of people out there who are living their lives and celebrating themselves, and that inspires others to celebrate themselves too. So I love that movement. I love it. Mm-hmm.
But I get both sides of that. I live with a professional bodybuilder, and the last 8 years, I've had no desire to be that fit or do that at all. It's his world, and as I'm getting older, I'm celebrating my 65th birthday.
Oh my God, you look amazing, girl. What?
So last year we were in a horrific van accident. I was with my kids and my husband in Iceland, and it flipped over. My face went through the glass onto the street, tore my shoulder. We all walked away from it, but some of us limped away from it. And the crazy thing about that moment is, and I'll show you before and after pictures, I had taken a picture of me in the mirror, and I remember looking there going, who's that old lady with the kind of the saggy thighs and a bit of a belly and kind of a butt? And I was like, not really loving the way you look, but I also didn't care. I was building an online coaching business, sitting in a chair. He would go to the gym and come back, and I assumed by osmosis that he was learning I was getting fitter. And that was my biggest personal lie. And then I would go and I would do my social media in the sauna. I went to the gym. I didn't do anything, but I was there. It does not count. Well, after this moment, and it was a really crazy moment for me, because he said there's a bodybuilding competition in our hometown in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I'm like, okay, because we have to travel around the world for his work. So he said, but there's a category for women over 60, and I'm like, who cares? Like, congratulations. And then something, literally, Tiffany, from out of the ether said, go for it. I'm like, go for it, what?
Yes.
Wow. 99 days from the day that I was thinking about this, and I was 33% body fat, and I was over 160 pounds. And I was like, all right with that. It was January of last year. And then something just flipped. And I wrote a little book about it called Flip the Switch. And I made it, I said, you know what? If not now, when?
Yeah, if not now, when? Yeah.
For 99 days, I spent 2 hours a day in the gym doing his weight training because I had never really done resistance-focused training before, mostly carnivore diet. I lost 33 pounds and 13% body fat, got on stage in a bikini and got a medal.
Yes! Oh my God.
I know you may have not seen him, but here, I just pulled up a picture, and I know on my Voice America or on a podcast, you guys can't see this, but Tiffany can share her reaction out loud. Because I have a little fun picture. People say, can I see a picture of your husband? I show them this picture. And why don't you just...
Oh my God.
Wait, what was that? You got to tell them what you're seeing.
Oh my God. It looks like some kind of a Greek Adonis or something like that. What the heck?
So that's him, and that's what I have to live up to. But I will share with you, and again, you guys, I know you can't see it, but she can, the transformation. So when I'm looking at somebody who is heavier, as a beautiful body type, I love it and I appreciate it, but I'm also curious, are they upping their fear? This is the before and after photo of me.
Wow. Congratulations. You look great.
Well, so what you see is definitely a before picture of a woman in her 60s who's looking kind of chunky, and then you see a woman who got on stage and just really worked it for just 99 days. That's the other thing.
That's amazing.
In a short period of time, you can have a transformation.
Oh my goodness. I just posted I'm doing a challenge right now. I'm doing a 30-day challenge with my clients and a 60-day challenge, VIP challenge. And one client, I just posted her on my Instagram. Her transformation in 30 days is a freaking phenomenal. Congratulations to Crystal, to Letitia, to Rosa. Like, these are the people I'm telling you, in 30 days, you can make an incredible transformation. And
so now, I'm going to share mine because on YouTube we will see this because I just pulled up your Instagram.
Okay.
And sure, the one that you just posted, how long is that?
30 days. Check it out. 30 days. Just watch the video. It's a video. Wait till you see. Yeah. And look at the back. And what she did was, she did my workouts, Tiffany Roth Workouts, and she also did my 15-day cleanse. So the 15-day cleanse helps to restore your gut health, get rid of the old waste. I say you can shrink the waste. That means all the poop. You eliminate all the poop out of your gut, and then you actually shrink your waste. So it's an amazing system that has vitamins. It has like an energy pill, which helps to stabilize your insulin levels. And then it has a cleansing tea, which helps you eliminate all of the excess waste in your gut, liberate your energy, take out the inflammation. So she did that 15-day cleanse. She did my workouts, and it's been phenomenal. And the thing is that people don't believe that it's possible for them. And that's what I really like about the cleanse, because when you do the cleanse, you lose 5 pounds like right away. And you feel so excited about that, then you're motivated to keep doing the other stuff. The other thing, which is actually very important for women, is protein. And like you said, you did mostly a carnivore diet, like especially for us women, like you have got to up your protein. I don't care what we used to do before, remember all the fat-free stuff, and we went through all that. Like at 20, 30 years old, you can do that. But let me tell you something, baby. When you hit after 40 and up, you have got to pick up your resistance training and your protein if you want to hang on to anything. So we upped her protein, we did a cleanse, and every single person that did this got results. And I freaking love that. Like, I live for that. I live for transformational stories. Like, I actually watched yours, and I was so proud of you. I sent you messages on Facebook and Instagram when you won, because I was like, yes, 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 because you're getting out there representing. And I think what you were saying about your husband is like, when you do when people, okay, let me just say this. How you felt about the woman on the cover being big, right? You are no more valuable, big or small. You are no more valuable before or after your competition. You're still worthy, you're still beautiful, you're still smart, right? But are you scaling up to be the best version of yourself, right? And there's always another version, So it has nothing to do with the value or worth or beauty. Your size does not determine that. It does not. And there's people who, if you show me your before and after, you're beautiful in both. You're worthy in both. but how did it feel to get out there and win? How did it feel to get stronger? How did it feel to be more disciplined over every meal that you take? That's mindset development. That's personal growth. That's something nobody can take from you. So like you own your transformation. And that's what's so powerful about fitness. It's just not about the abs, right?
I will tell you, it's definitely, it's funny how it affects your mind. I went out last night to an event, to a karaoke event for Hulk Hogan, actually, and I'm pretty fit right now, and I put a little outfit, and I just enjoy it, and I think it's the muscle on my body. I'm going to tell you, Tiffany's so right about resistance. There's a beautiful TED Talk I just watched. It says we don't have an obesity problem, we have a lack of muscle problem.
Yeah.
And then but here's funny, this morning I ran into a woman, probably about 100 pounds overweight, young, 35 years old, beautiful woman. And we're talking just about, she was in awe of what had happened. She's in my doctor's office. And she said to me, and I said something about weight training, and she lifted her arm, which was definitely larger, and she said, I got a large arm, see, and I don't want, and she was, there was a little fat guy, and he was like, I don't want that to all become kind of big and bulky. And I'm like, oh my God, you don't understand. And it's unfortunate. We have all the same muscles. Fat doesn't turn into muscle.
Right.
Fat comes into she just didn't understand the mechanics of the body she was living in.
Yes.
Oh, isn't that interesting? Because where do adults learn this?
Yeah, it's
in my doctor's office, and I'm like, you gotta, oh my gosh. So, because she's like, I walk. I'm like, walking is nice, but weight training, I don't know how to help people understand this, but for me, it's been a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. What you were saying is you felt good showing off your muscles, right?
You know what? It's funny because I walked differently.
Yeah.
I was like, for a while, and I was like, damn, like the jeans fit really good in the little vest.
Yeah.
It didn't have to do with size. It's just the muscle. I think I felt strong.
Yes. That's right. That's right. And so, like, just to clarify that, because just for the listeners, I know you know that already, but like so many people before, and that was that we talk about it when we were growing up, it was like skinny, skinny, skinny. I remember people would come to me and go like, I don't want my legs to get big. I don't want my butt to get big. Like it was like, oh my God, I don't know. And now people are saying, well, how do I get bigger legs? How do I get a bigger butt? I mean, it's insane. Like it's like completely flipped because we do appreciate it. I can tell you, I appreciate it too because I noticed losing muscle tissue. Like, you know, in my 50s, I really started noticing it the most. And I was like, oh, heck to the no. Like, I appreciate like the powerful muscles and the powerful butt because I'm like, started squatting and lunging and I invested in some more weights even for at-home training because like that is the only way. Strength is the only way that you can continue to be sexy to the end of days. Getting stronger, not skinnier.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're a mom.
Yes, I'm a mom. Mm-hmm.
How many?
I have two beautiful girls, and you know it's so interesting. This is so interesting about these two girls. So
you guys need to go to Tiffany's Instagram. They're beautiful.
Yeah. So my oldest daughter, who's 20 years old, she is so interesting. I'm going to share this with you. So she grew up in Texas. I grew up in LA. And I grew up in the skinny age, and she grew up in the big booty age. And so she's obsessed with getting her butt bigger. Like she wants bigger legs and bigger legs. And I'm like, you gotta like she just cares about that. She doesn't really care about like leaning out anywhere else. She just does not care. Like I talk to her about it all the time. I'm like, look, you know, you gotta do your cardio, you gotta watch what you eat, you know, but like she's singularly focused on that. And so it's just so interesting just to see her. She embraces more of a body positivity than I ever did. Like she embraces more all different sizes. Like she was in that era. Now, things are changing a little bit again, I would say, because my youngest, right, is like, she told me the other day, she was like, your videos are kind of easy. I'm like, what? You know, like, she's been doing these Pilates, like really slow stuff. She's like, yeah, you're going too fast. And she's 12 years old and she is all about like strength and lean and long. And she's actually I challenged her. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're teaching class. So not this week, but next week, she's going to be leading the class on YouTube at 12 years old. She's like a little fitness phenom, right? And she's like really into like the Pilates and long lean muscles and things like that. And she, I think, has taken more after me, like where exercise is like at the top of your life. As at 12 years old, she's already started on her own. Yeah.
Well, how wonderful to experience that. I've got twins. They just turned 22.
Oh my goodness.
And I will say that my daughter's 5'9". The one of the biggest things she loves, one, I gave her beautiful skin. She's got this beautiful flat tummy, but she's got an hourglass shape. And it was always frustrating because she grew up chunky. Her dad's a big guy, 6'6", and her twin brother was a string bean.
Oh.
So it was hard on her. But now that she's gotten to where she is as a woman, really fun. It's like, oh my gosh. But I will tell you the difference. Well, I had them later in life. I was 42 and I gave birth to my kids. They didn't know the dancer actress Forbes Riley. They only knew the businesswoman.
Right.
My daughter owns a multi-million-dollar company. She's the CEO of one company.
What? It's amazing. At 22? That's amazing.
My gosh. You got 16 employees from around the world.
What?
She still has work for her. This is the craziest thing. I got their new hat. This is what the company my son and daughter own together. It's called GSD. It stands for Get Shit Done.
Wow.
Productivity first. We can get you online. We can make your stuff happen. And they are crushed. They got that energy. And while fitness is nice for them, they are entrepreneurs on fire.
Oh my.
It's kind of fun to watch.
I love that. I love that. Oh my God. So that is so interesting. So yeah, your influences, your early influences, so they got influenced by the businesswoman, by, the mogul, the one who's out there getting shit done, right? And so.
Ironically, there was a moment, I don't know if you took your kids to dance class, because I was a dancer. It's all I wanted to do when I was little. I wanted to dance with Fred Astaire, Kelly, and having chunky thighs was a real heartache for me. That's where the whole diet came from.
Yeah.
But get the class at about 5 years old, put me in dance class. I watched my daughter going, oh my God, you're that kind of chunky kid in class who doesn't know how to move. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. And it was hard. It was like, it was hard to watch.
Oh yeah.
And I remember thinking at that moment, oh my God, what am I going to do? My kids can't go to dance class. That's all. It's funny. Like, you know what you know. Like, you're a football dad, your kid decides not to play football. Yeah. They are healthy, thriving, smart entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And now they dance in a nightclub, and nobody's a professional dancer.
Yeah, exactly.
And I do think, go back to mindset, because I do spend a lot of time, and I love that we're both in that world. I spend a lot of time helping people shatter limiting beliefs.
Yes.
I truly believe that your past helps you write your future or hurts your future, and you can eliminate it if you want to. You don't have to be tied to the story of when you were 14. I hear too many people who are just not moving forward. Tiffany, how would you describe the ideal client who comes to you?
My ideal client. So, I do work with a broad range of clients, but most of my clients are women. Most of my clients want to prioritize fitness and personal growth. So they've gotten to a point in their life where they've reached a certain level of success, and they know that there's something more out there. And they know that there's something that's been holding them back, and they can't kind of figure out what that is. And that's what, like you're talking about limiting beliefs, the stories we tell ourselves based on our past experiences and our subconscious generator, they're there like creating guardrails for us to be who we came to be on the planet, because we don't even know that they're there. So there's lots of people that come to me that they have achieved success, but they know that there's something in them that can do more, can be more, and can contribute more. And they want to make their mark on the world. And that just really inspires me at any age, because I have people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the way till their 80s, right? That still want to develop who they are as human beings on the planet. It's the most worthwhile work that I do, the Mindset Makeover. And it actually got me through my divorce. It got me through like picking myself back up. It got me through creating new possibility when there was none. And it was so powerful that I said, you know what, more than workouts, I get to share this with the world. And that's what I realized after learning that like, gosh, if I would have had these tools, I could have helped my mom. I could have helped her because it just never occurred to me. It wasn't just about lifting the weight. It wasn't about the strong or like the everyday. It's about who do you believe you are? What do you believe you're capable of? And so my ideal client, women who are stuck, women who have achieved a certain level of success and want more, and they want their time. Like, because I think some of the things that we are subjected to as women is caring for everybody else and nurturing everybody else, and then we get to go last, and they're ready to go first. So that's my client.
What's so exciting for me about today's conversation is I am in the health and wellness world, and I have a business. And speaking on stages, and it's still health and wellness, and I don't think that he's not in my window. I don't think they can have. I think you need both to survive.
Yeah.
You know what? Share a little bit about what your hope for is the future. Let me just go make sure somebody's not locked out of my home.
Okay.
Take the stage for a second.
Okay. All right. So, I'm going to share a little bit about my motto for life, which is train your mind, work your body, lift your spirit. It all begins with your mindset, what you believe, what you can achieve. And so the belief system, and there's a phrase out there that everybody knows, those who believe they can and those who believe they can't. But what we never get to address as humans is how those beliefs got formed. And that's different for every single person based on what your childhood was like, what your parenting was like, what your education was like, what your religion was like. And so, like, what really helps people to break through those limiting beliefs, oh my goodness, man, you are one lucky lady. I'm telling you, man, like, how do we get down on that plan? Like, how do we get on that plan?
Well, Tiffany Roth is one of the most successful youth fitness ever. I found her early video. I watched at 13 million views, and I would watch her all the time and just go, "Oh my gosh, this woman's on fire." It's taken us years to meet.
How are you?
Yeah, it's just funny. We only have a few minutes left, but he is getting into. He loves training, doing his own thing, but he has his own program and he's doing his own thing. What advice might you give to him, venturing out to the world to help others?
Okay, so what is your vision for your life? What do you still want to create?
Well, I teach people how to exercise correctly. Most people do bad exercises like the rare presses, the barbell squats, or deadlift lifts, or inefficient exercises like the incline press. So I teach people pretty much biomechanics, the proper ways so they can build muscle fast and stay healthy.
Okay, so you teach people how to exercise correctly, and like, I mean, you got like the marketing genius next to you, but I'm gonna tell you, like, that's simple, right? Like, you would start off like most people are doing the basic exercises incorrectly. I teach them how to correct that and get better results. Period. Like, that simple, because everybody, like, we suffer from massive confusion in the fitness world. There's massive confusion. There's so many different ideologies out there. There's so many different approaches to fitness out there. When you make it simple, and you stick with that one message, people want it easy. They want it easy. And I remember they would have this app, Eat This, Not That. It became really, really popular, right? You say, do it like this, not like that, right? And like, you could just use it like that simple. And I can tell you, obviously the proof is in the pudding, right? That you're getting the results. Like, what the heck? Like, how do you get anything done at work? At home, Forbes. How do you get any work done, right?
He's going for the Arnold in 3 weeks. You probably the biggest you've ever been in your career.
I don't know. Whatever I am. I don't really measure myself. I don't. People ask me, how big your biceps are? How much you weigh? I'm like, well, I know I weigh around 220, but I don't weigh myself every day. So I'm trying to say I'm kind of humble, I suppose.
Except a lot like the hope, because if we're on radio, you guys can't see. Joshua showed up without his shirt. He literally got locked outside of the house. Somebody was cleaning your house, but he's outgrowing all of his shirts. So now we have to find something for him.
Yeah, we live in Florida, so my dad walked around without a shirt on. It's just something Florida, right?
Yeah, no, I can understand. I can understand why you would do that. Good luck. Keep it simple. How did you guys meet, by the way?
in my hotel room in Las Vegas, I needed a fitness model for my spin gym. And my photographer turned to me and said, I've got a 2-time Mr. Arnold world champion. Do you want to meet him? And I said, no. It's a big body. Look at my little handheld fitness device, and they laughed. He came over anyway, fell in love with this. He now still uses it to warm up with. It's not going to build muscle like he has.
Right.
It's a great look. And he pursued me over Instagram.
Wow.
He took a picture. He left that day. I didn't think anything about it because, Tiffany, the truth is I don't like bodybuilders traditionally. I wanted to do like 3 things: working out, food, and themselves. And I told my daughter that. And now I've got a beautiful bodybuilder for the last 8 years.
Oh my God, yes, that's beautiful. I love that. You can have whatever you want, girl.
Well, you know what I wanted is I wanted someone who's the sweetest, kindest man, because it's the second time around, kind of like, you know, for you as well. And I needed somebody to emotionally just be there and available. And there's something very special about that boy that I've never seen else.
Wow, that's really wonderful.
And what it is, and I know we've got 2 minutes left, but his dad was killed when he was 2. His stepdad was killed when he was 15. Just like you talk about your mom, I talk about my mom. Our sensibilities have a lot to do with our parents. And I think he just wanted that love and stability he never got from the dad.
Beautiful. Well, that's why I say everything in life happens for you, not to you. So all of our
You sound like me, girlfriend. I swear to God, from the believing you can or not, that's part of my teaching. Literally, I'm like, listen to me going, gosh, look at it. My hair was just a little bit curly. I smiled,
Yeah.
A minute left. Will you share with the world your vision? What's your vision for the world?
Okay, so my vision for the world is that everybody takes the time out to develop themselves personally. I want everybody to get into my course, the Mindset Makeover. I want everybody to love themselves from the inside out, because guess what? When you love yourself, you can love others. And a lot of times you think love others and you love yourself, but when you come last, right, then you're resentful, then you're miserable, then you don't have energy. So put yourself first, put that self-love first, that self-care first, and you will be able to love others, inspire others, and if everyone does that, the world will be a better place.
You know, like Audrey Hepburn said, whenever you go to Tiffany's, good things come in small boxes. Well,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, in my little Zoom box, I've got the most beautiful Tiffany. We're at the end of our show. I just adore you. Everything you stand for, who you are, and I feel very blessed, as I'm sure my listeners do. A big, big hug, and thank you so much.
So how would we find you? How would my fans find you?
Well, how do we find you? So that's the first thing. For me, just go to ForbesRiley.com.
Okay.
Everything I've done for Instagram, and for you, how do we find you?
You find me at Tiffany Roth Workouts. Tiffany Roth, ROTHE for excellent. Tiffany Roth Workouts on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. And I'd like for you guys to try my cleanse, because that's the jumpstart that people really need. So you can get that. It's a 15-day cleanse. You can get it on FFFshop.club. Okay, try the cleanse today.
And I'm going to put all those notes all over to be in YouTube. We got to run out of time because we're
Thank you so much.
I will follow up with you.
All right, love you. Bye.
Everybody. Jordan, we good?
Okay, you guys, thanks for listening. You can hear the full podcast on Forbes Riley, but I wanted Team Rockstars to be in here and share that with me. Leave me a message about any tips that you loved, anything that you'd like to know more, any questions that you may have, because you know what, you're my community, and I love you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.